Good morning, students.
Good morning, Miss Chavez.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, guys. So you know how we've been talking about our coordinate grids, right? So today we're gonna go over how to graph, okay, points on a coordinate graph. So to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you what our TEAG for the day is today. Okay, our TEAG 5.8c is graphing coordinates. But before we start graphing, okay, I need to introduce you to the vocabulary. Okay, we need to understand what each part of the coordinate grid is labeled. Okay, so first, every time we use the coordinate grid, we start at an origin. Okay, so our origin is always at the center. Okay, what does the word origin mean to you? Go ahead.
Like our origin, like what our past.
Right, well, very good. You're connecting it to cultural studies, very good. But it also applies to math, okay? Is where everything begins. So this is where it begins on our coordinate grid. So we always begin at 0, 0. So the center of our coordinate is 0, 0. Okay? All right. Now, we also have all the lines, okay, that go from north to south, okay, and move from your left to your right is called the x-axis. Okay, so any point on the x-axis, okay, you'll always refer to it as the x value. You also have the lines that go from north to south, okay, which is called the y-axis. So any point from north to south is called the y value. Okay? When you have a pair, okay, when you have a pair of coordinates, okay, that means an x value and a y value, you get a pair of coordinates of a point or also an ordered pair. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of one. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to get my little, I use these, they're pegs, to put them inside. Okay, so I have a coordinate pair. A coordinate pair, okay, that has an x and a y value. Okay, so on my coordinate pair, this is my x and this is my y. Okay, so remember what I said. Every time we graph on our coordinate plane, you always start at the origin. Okay, at the origin, you have 0, 0 always. Okay? All right, let me get some scissors. I'm gonna show you so that we're not confused. Okay? So always when I start, my pair, my ordered pair is always 0, 0. That means my x is at the 0 and my y is at the 0. When I start from there and I want to graph this coordinate, okay, is gonna be, okay, my x is gonna run on the x, okay, on the x-axis, okay, 3, okay, to the right. Okay, so that would be, I'm gonna run, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then I'm gonna rise 5. So now I'm gonna rise 5 on the y-axis because my value is 5, right? Okay, so I'm gonna rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that my order pair is 3, 5. Okay? All right, one thing Ms. Chavez needs to mention are the quadrants, okay? So in 5th grade, okay, so our coordinate is divided into quadrants. But for 5th grade, we pretty much stayed on the first quadrant. In our first quadrant, all of our numbers are positive, okay? We hardly get into the negatives because if we move on a number line, we're getting into imaginary numbers, which are negative on the x-axis and negative on the y-axis, okay? So right now we're just gonna think about our first quadrant. All right, so I'm gonna do one more pair and you guys are gonna tell me what steps I need to follow, okay? And then together, each of you are gonna get an opportunity to graph your own, okay? All right, so I'm gonna write an order pair and you guys are gonna tell me what are the steps to follow, okay? Oh, let me get an exposed first. Thank you for waiting patiently for me. Okay, so my first order pair, I'm gonna say it's gonna be 5 for my x value, and we're gonna do 7 for my y value. Okay, so would anybody please tell me what am I gonna do first? So I'm gonna clear my board. I'm still gonna leave my labels so that you guys can see. All right, go ahead, Jacob. Okay, all right, so where do I start? Do you remember what that is called? The origin. I left it there on purpose because it's the first time we are like doing it with the actual vocabulary, so that the academic vocabulary. So we start always at the origin. Always go back to the origin, okay? All right, so at the origin, what did you say?
We took 5 steps.
Okay, 5 steps which way? What is it? To the right? To your right? Okay, to your right? Yeah, because I'm the opposite side. Okay, it's my left. So I'm gonna run how many?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still on the quadrant. Okay, go ahead, Elliot. I'm gonna write 7 on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very good. Okay. All right, we're gonna do one more. Sorry, we don't have our eraser, but this is good that it's an expo. Okay, would anybody like to give me a couple of order pair values for our x and a y? Go ahead.
7.
Okay, so we're gonna be at 7. Okay.
And then
We're gonna do 9. Okay. All right. So our x value is gonna be 7, and our y value is gonna be 9. Okay. All right. All right. So, all right, Carlos.
We're gonna start at the origin.
Okay.
And we're gonna run 7 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
Then we're gonna go up 9 times to the y-axis. 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you do it? I can't reach that far.
6, 7. Okay. so that our order pair, if I were to
We're
do,
doing 9.
oh, 9. I'm sorry. Thank you. 8, 9. Thank you. All right, I appreciate that. I mean, y'all were paying attention. Miss Chavez was probably kind of off a little there. Thank you. All right, so we have a 7 and a 9.